Hello and welcome to Game 2 with Midnight Gone in Pauper. We're on the play and Sand looks fairly keepable. I do know what we're playing against. I have played against this guy before. I believe he's playing Burn/Goblins. Yep. So, if we do this right, I think since we have that information, we'll have the upper hand. So, I'm just going to crack this now. Get a plains and pass. The reason I'm doing it that way is because I don't like he's gonna fart out a bunch of stuff out of his hand, and there's gonna be really nothing I can do about it. I'm actually really happy to see that bushwhacker kicked early. It means we're taking 5. There's no way around that, but it does mean that he's not doing it with a horde of like conscripts and other dorks that normally are just nothing. So I think since we have the Midnight Guard, I think I kind of want to play the armor. Either that or the Evangel. I think I'm going to play the Armorer, since it means that Soul's Attendant can profitably block the Bushwhacker. Then I'm going to play the Sanctuary and bounce the Blossoming Sands so we can gain an additional life. And I'm not going to attack because I'd rather block and trade. What I can easily see happening here, I would have to be really careful with our blocks, because what I can see happening here is we block here, they bolt the Armorer, and then they trade, or he pumps the Goblin Bushwhacker. So I don't know that I'm going to block this turn. It really depends. This is mostly there to make our Midnight Guard unboltable. I know that they have Flame Slash and other cards along those lines that deal way more than 3, or enough to kill a Veteran Armored Midnight Guard, but I'm willing to take the chance. Now this attack is actually, it signals that he doesn't have a bolt, or he doesn't feel like wasting it yet. So that's good for me, actually. I'm okay with the way he attacks there. And I think I'm actually just going to play the Microderm here, because the Microderm, ooh la la, don't mind if I do. So we have a couple of options. We play the guard, hope it doesn't die, and then try to Presence of God. I really wish I had a God's Willing in my hand. I mean, we could just go for it. I think we will. So we'll play the Sands, gain a life. We're going to be at 19, and they have 2, 4, 6, 7 power on the battlefield. It can easily be more, and they have Burn in their deck. So this could go a couple of ways. I have a feeling that it's not going to go well for us, but we can't afford to let this game go long. And honestly, going up to 20 just makes me feel a bit more comfortable with where we are. Not having any protection for the guard. So after going into the tank, they let the guard resolve. Again, him thinking about it could mean a couple of things. One is that he doesn't have an answer for it, and 2 is that he does, and he was just figuring out the math. I mean, that's what going into the tank essentially is every single time an opponent does it, but it's more of an odds thing in this circumstance. Alright, I have a feeling that we're going to see another Bushwhacker attack here. Bushwhacker and Burn. Or he has, it's a Flamekin with Evoke for 1. Oh, okay, actually it's perfect, so we get to win this next turn. Unless he casts a free burn spell. I know there's one that he runs that costs 6, that you can sacrifice 2 mountains rather than pay its mana cost, and he deals 4 damage. But it doesn't look like he has that, given that he didn't attack with the Bushwhacker. And he's doing it that way. I'm fairly confident that he can't do anything about what's coming. So 2, 4, 6, yeah, we'll take it. Alright, so we play that, and now we're just going to slam this Presence of Gond and go off and gain infinite life. So let's see what he has to say about this. Yep, and our opponent scoops it up. Onto the sideboard. Pretty simple choices, I think. I think we just bring in the circles. I'm not sure about the standard bearer. It could potentially do some work. Because any pump they have has to target this. Any burn they have has to target this. It's essentially God's Willing number 4 and 5. So I'm going to cut the microderms down to none just because they're so expensive. Maybe I'll keep one. We'll see. I think Scatter the Seeds is worth cutting. I think we'll run it back like that, actually. And then if this doesn't work out, what I'm thinking is we bring back in Scatter the Seeds and take out the microderm and go from there. Just because Scatter the Seeds can easily be tap 5 creatures, gain 3 life, block, block, block. But the microderm can win the game and can block pretty much anything already. Like, if we didn't have the Presence of Gone there, I would have played the microderm and just sat on it for a while. This is a great hand. I'm going to keep it. We have Circle Protection Red, we have the combo, we have everything we could possibly want, except for a Soul Sister. And playing first. So we're going to be a turn slow, which could be... It could have negative ramifications, but there's nothing we can do about it. And we're up a game, so I'm fairly confident that this is going to go our way. So my plan is... I might have to slow down a little bit. Ooh, good, we drew a land. So I'm going to play the circle, pass the turn, and I think for the following turn, I'm going to play Armorer, Soul Attendant. Not in that order, I'm going to play it in reverse order, but just so I have a mana up so I can prevent some damage and gain some life. Ooh, another Soul Sister. Alright, well, I'm going to play just the Soul Warden and then the Armorer, I think. No, I'm going to play both sisters. So that way I can prevent damage and gain some life. Because we need to stabilize quickly. Because unfortunately, we had a great start, but it was slow. And the Circle of Protection only works... Okay, alright, does this work? Can this target spells? This time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. No, it does not. Okay, so that sucks. Nothing we can do about it. Fortunately, it didn't happen when we were going off, because that would have been disastrous. We would have been able to just go back off in response, but yeah, those have to attack, pal. Let's prevent one of them. And we'll take 2. Flag Bearer. Huh. Alright, well, I might go Standard Bearer. No, I think we just slam the guard. Pass the turn. The guard's probably going to eat a burn spell, to be realistic. But if it doesn't, and we draw... Yep, there's the Flame Slash. Sure. Yeah, this actually ended up being not good for us. That keep, unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So maybe I should have played the bearer there. Let's prevent some damage. We're going to go to 3. I'm not liking that too much, thank you. Let's play that guy. I don't know if we can survive. Play that guy. And pass. We might have to Presence of Gond and suit up one of these two and just start making tokens to block. Yep. Or we'll just hold up mana and start preventing damage. We do have to block this turn, though. So we'll prevent the damage from that one. The important thing is it says next time a source would deal damage to you, prevent that damage. So I can't prevent a creature from dealing damage, blocking it, and then trading without losing one of my creatures. Which sucks, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go to 1. I traded with one of their dudes. Alright, they have the bolt. Yeah, they just had... Our draw was great. We were totally set up to win. But they were way faster than us, and there was nothing we could do about it. Cut one of the microderms. I'll cut all 4 microderms and run back this. Throw scatter seeds back in, and run it back like that. This looks fine. We're on the play. We have stuff and things to do. I'm just gonna play this Soul's Attendant on turn 1 and hope to draw another one. Actually, ooh, pass. Ooh, sweet. So this is just as good as playing the Sands. Actually better because it gets us closer to Sprout Swarm. But we also gain a life, and that was kind of the idea with playing this on turn 2. But now we have a blocker, and we're 1 mana closer to Sprout Swarm. And the reason I didn't attack there is I just want to give him as little reason as possible to care about that thing. Yep. And then, alright, so I'm tempted to play the Evangel, but here's why I'm not. I'm not because this is... Holding this up is screaming to me, tap out, I dare you. I mean, part of me thinks that, oh, okay, yeah, he can waste a bolt on my Attendant, but honestly, it's really important gaining the life that we did. So I'm just going to pass and hope to see if I can fizzle a burn spell on my Attendant. So he does nothing and passes. He kind of hesitated at the end there, so I don't know if that means anything. But he attempts to Chain Lightning, and I'm just going to God's Willing. If... So he let... Ooh, So, let's say we keep this. Is there any reason not to? No, I don't think there is. So, we'll keep that on top and pass the turn. He'll pass the turn to us, which is surprising. I'm surprised he hasn't played more creatures. I think, given that, I think he's holding a bunch of removal. So I think I'm going to bait out the removal. No. I'm going to play the circle. I'm going to play the circle, get that online as quick as I can. Because he's dirtling. And because he's dirtling, it says to me that he has removal, so playing a guard seems like I'm just asking for it to get bolted. And we already used a God's Willing to save the Soul's Attendant, which, rightly or wrongly, was... I think it was the right thing to do. It really doesn't matter, so I guess I'll just get a Plains. I think it was the right thing to do, because the life gain is so important to us in this matchup. But I am going to play the Evangel this turn. We still have mana up for bluffing God's Willing and Circle of Protection. So we're just going to pass back. See what our opponent does. Bolt the Evangel, fine. That's a bolt that's not being used on our Midnight Guard or us. So I'm totally okay with bolting that. It's only a 3-of for a reason. It's not the perfect card. It's not what I want to be doing 100% of the time. And now they're going to bolt the Attendant. Sure. I mean, I can't stop it. If the bolt was coming at us, it'd be a different story, but it's not. Okay, so we get to take 2 this turn. We have the option of taking 0, but there's no reason to throw away our token. This Sprout Swarm Fuel, and plus, well, it ended up working out because we drew the Soul Warden, but we are at Sprout Swarm now. The Sprout Swarm win condition is online as long as Soul Warden doesn't die. If Soul Warden can live for at least 2 turns, 3 turns, I think we'll be okay. I'm almost 100% certain it won't make it past this turn. I will bet you money that as soon as I Sprout Swarm, it's going to get bolted or Chain Lightninged or red removal spell X. Yeah, alright, so I'm going to do it in response. Just because I want the life, and now he can't. Now I can trade with Bushwhacker without really caring. It's Sucks that I had to tap out for it. That means he can burn me, but it is what it is. We're at 23. I'm kind of comfortable here. So our opponent's going to go attacking. Yeah, that's kind of what... Yeah, I'm not surprised to see him do that. So I'll go to 19. So we drew the combo. He's used a lot of removal spells. I'm thinking to myself that there's no way he could have another one. That said, do I want to play it safe? Do I want to journey? Yeah, let's see if we can't get more out of his hand. So I'm going to journey. I'm going to get rid of that, I suppose. It doesn't really... Between the two of them, this one's worse. So I'll leave him that one. And I will pass with the ability to Sprout Swarm and also Circle of Protection activation ×2. I'm trying to play control, but it's difficult to play control against a deck that just farts out garbage that can just become not garbage with a 2-mana card. With a card that costs 1 and an activated ability that costs 1. Alright, so we're going to untap. We drew another Sprout Swarm, which is mediocre. So, like I said, this is probably just going to eat a burn spell. No way. But I'm confident... It's probably going to eat a burn spell. I've resigned myself to that. That said, he has used 4 removal spells so far. 2 of them, lightning bolts, which could have easily gone to our face. So, if he drew the removal spell, he drew the removal spell. If not, then I'm perfectly happy with that. So, let's say he doesn't draw the removal spell, and he just goes to combat, and he declares attackers. I'm planning on Sprout Swarming. Okay. Just casting it without buyback, casting the additional one. And blocking. So, let's let him go attacking. Probably going to throw away the plant on this attack. So, maybe I'm not going to throw away the plant. Let's cast it. So he either wants me to... Ooh, Electricity might be about. So we'll pay like that. See what our opponent does. I'm not going to block with a Midnight Guard. It's too risky. Like, the obvious... If he had no removal, the obvious thing to do would be to target the guard. Yet he didn't. And that makes me really nervous. So I'm going to block at least one of these guys with the new Sapperling. I think I'll block here. Maybe I'll just double block the Heel Cutter. Yeah, I think I'm going to double block the Heel Cutter and see what our opponent does. We still have enough mana to start Sprout Swarming. So, could be interesting what happens. Fortunately, our Midnight Guard is going to die. But we got rid of the Heel Cutter. And I did forget to do the Circle of Protection. So we took an extra 2 that we didn't need to. But we drew a God's Willing, which is good. So I'm going to hold on to this Presence of Gond. And I'm going to Sprout Swarm ad nauseum. And I'm going to sit on Circle of Protection for as long as I can. That's the nice thing about it in this matchup. I can just sit on it and sit on it and sit on it. But now I can't imagine that. Yeah, there's Electricity. So I can give one of my Sapperlings pro red. But is it worth it? No, I don't think it is. I think I'll just let it happen. That's part of why I didn't play the Presence of God, because I would have had to use the God's Willing there. So our opponent's probably going to go attacking. He's not, just because they're all going to get prevented. So I'm going to cast the Veteran Armorer here and try to get the train back on the tracks. Because now I have enough to Sprout Swarm with buyback. Once we untap, and then we can start going from there. Let's see what our opponent has. 2 mana. Inner Flame Acolyte. That's the Flamekin thing I was talking about earlier. I couldn't remember. So it's going to target itself. Oh, no, it targeted the Bushwhacker. Okay. Attacks. Do I think I might Sprout Swarm, block, prevent. I can't prevent both. I think I'll just prevent the two biggest and maybe chump the other one. Or trade with the other one. Prevent. Now, do I block? That's the big question. I think I do. I need to keep his creature count low. Sprout Swarm isn't that important as much as I like to talk about it. Plus, we drew into it naturally. So I'm just going to pass. Fortunately, anything he does, we can just stop it from happening. And we can just Sprout Swarm on his end step, which means that we might need some burn spells at the end. But if we do, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And if he just attacks for 2, I'm going to take it. 3 is also okay. Yeah, I'll let that happen. But if he does anything to him, then I can still activate the circle in response. And move to the end step. Alright, we're going to cast this bad boy with buyback. Sprout Swarm with buyback. Paying costs. Bolt me. Sure. The old triple bolt, maybe, even though he only has 1 left in the deck? No? Okay, that's fine. Okay, we drew it. We drew it. So I want to play him. Now it's survival is the name of the game. By no means am I going to block with the guard unless I have to. I'm not going to... God's Willing is going to sit in my hand for as long as it possibly can. I'm going to Sprout Swarm and block with Convoke on these two. Or maybe 1 and 1. Or 1-1. So let's see what our opponent does attacking wise. Alright, so he doesn't declare attackers. Alright, this is good. So Kalni Garden for us. Alright, I think we're just going to play the Presence and see what he does. We have the God's Willing. So let's see if he... Yeah, here it is, the Fire Blast. That's the card. Alright, so I'm going to God's Willing. Does he have the second burn spell? Is the 1 card left in his hand? Oh, it's another Fire Blast! Alright, I mean, it couldn't have gone any other way. He doesn't have any lands. So, it could be worse. These could have hit us. That would have killed us. Those two. That's really unfortunate. We don't even get a scry. We forced him to sacrifice all his lands, though. And I don't hate that. I really don't. Like, any spell, if he draws any spells, that's perfect. And if he draws any lands, that's also, like, okay. So he's probably just going to attack with everybody but the Bushwhacker. That's what I would do, personally. Just since the Sapling can trade. Okay. Alright, we're going to go to the end step. Soul Warden. Alright, we're getting back in this, I think. It's going to be a little grindy, but I think we're back in it. Good old Sprout Swarm's going to carry me there. Alright, so they drew a mountain this turn. What do we got? You feeling lucky, opponent? Even if hopefully he's drawing Fire Blast and not going to hit another mountain ever, so that way he can't sacrifice. Alright, so... End of turn. I'm going to make sure I Convoke and leave mana up. So that way I can still pay for circle protection. Alright, the second circle protection is pretty moot. Like, it doesn't do us any good to have another one. So I'm just gonna pass the turn and leave it in my hand so he thinks that it's like another God's Willing or something else potentially relevant. Because, oh, he had another land this turn. That's unfortunate as well. I don't like that he has the ability to start doing stuff. But fortunately, again, we get to Sprout Swarm and have a bananas amount of mana up. The reason I did it twice instead of playing it a bit more conservatively was because I could tell that he F6'd. He didn't gain priority or hold priority at any point when I Sprout Swarmed the first time, so I could tell that he didn't have anything. I'm curious what this last card in his hand is, because he's sitting on it. Like, he's had it the entire time. That, like, since before he drew that mountain. So I'm curious as to what it is. Oh, no, I cast it without buyback. Uh-oh. That's not good. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. That was a misclick to end all misclicks. That sucks. Scatter the Seeds isn't bad, though. Scatter the Seeds. I'm glad we put it back in now. It's freaking great now. Because we can play it for free and gain 3 life. Seems good. Bolt my dude. Alright, well, we're gonna do some convoking. And then I'll pay 2 mana for it. Get 3 triggers. Soulborn's gonna die. I want him to attack desperately, so I can just blank all of his stuff. It feels so good doing that. Alright, so we just pass, hope to draw something good. Oh! Circle protection number 3. That blows. I would have even preferred a land, to be honest. Like, a Colony Garden would have been preferable to that. Just because it gives me more circle activations. I can still blank all of his dudes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, no, I have more than enough mana to blank all of his dudes and a burn spell. Sanctuary. So we're going to play that. Now, do I bounce the life or do I bounce the creature? Bounce the creature. Alright, now I'm just going to pass. Still have enough mana to blank all of his attackers that are currently on board. I don't think he's going to attack here. Yeah, this is a pretty heavy parity state. All right, we drew a second Presence of God. I'm just going to slam it on a token. I'll put it on this plant. Reason I put it on the plant instead of the sapling is the plant doesn't have any power, so I don't care if it dies. Alright, we get a 1/1 Elf Warrior creature token. This is a situation where actually that Scatter the Seeds would have been nice to have a Pallid Microderm. But it did put us up to 19, which is good for us. So, so have the removal spell, opponent. Have the removal spell. I'm not going to play the Presence of God on it right away in case he does have the removal spell. Ooh, he played land. That one card. There's one card in his hand. He's played 1 Chain Lightning, 2, 3 bolts, 2 Fire Blasts. Wait, 1, 2, all 4 bolts, 1 Chain Lightning, which is a sorcery, 1 Flame Slash, which is a sorcery. All he could have is a Fire Blast. Unless there's something else I'm missing. Do we just win? I need to pay green for that. Did we just win? Like, what could he have? Oh, and our opponent scoops it up. Alright, that was game 2 with Pauper, Midnight Gond. That was pretty intense. Like, it might not have been for you guys watching, but it was for me just because he could have peeled something and just annihilated me immediately. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and spread my channel around. I don't know if any of you watching know people that enjoy watching Magic gameplay, but I would appreciate it if you let them know about my channel, just to get the word out there and just to get the views going. Thank you so much, and join us for Game 3.